When we discovered that Colombia was one of the world's top coffee producers, we knew we'd have to pay a visit to the Coffee Triangle in search of the perfect cup of coffee. And I think we just might have found it. What's up, Unconventionalists? I'm Cassidy. Welcome back to our channel.
Some airports require plastic, some ones don't.
Good morning from Pereira, Colombia. We flew into Pereira yesterday after a long travel day from Leticia to Bogota and Bogota to Pereira. A couple meltdowns in the airport after being here for a few weeks and just excited to go home and be comfortable in our own bed. The Amazon can just make you feel really uncomfortable. But with that being said, we are pushing through and we are excited to move to Salento today.
When we planned our trip to Colombia, we knew it would be difficult to narrow down destinations because there is just so much to see in this country. But we knew that paying a visit to the Coffee Triangle is something we really wanted to do.
What is that thing, Atlas?
Not kiwi, actually. Oh.
We actually told our boys that Encanto was based off this region, and they spent their entire trip to Salento searching for the Rainbow River that would grant them magical powers.
We gotta put the chickens back in. Why'd you let the chickens out?
More chickens will come out.
Our first order of business when we arrived in Salento was to take a ride into town and explore the colorful streets and epic viewpoints.
Why'd you let the chickens out?
But before we even got into town, we checked into the Eco Lodge and we had quite the adventure because our boys let the chickens out. There was so much hilarity in watching Scott and Atlas and Isle, and even trying to help myself get those chickens back in. It was one of those unanticipated travel experiences that I will never forget.
Oh yeah, there you go. Let them in, Pew, 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 pew. Go, go. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Wrong way, go, go, go.
The laughs that poured out of us were so pure as we found ourselves chasing chickens in Colombia.
This bug.
That's a cool bug.
We chose to stay in Salento for our time in the Coffee Triangle because of how colorful it is and its proximity to the Kokora Valley, home of the tallest palm trees in the world. We stayed at Refugio Puente de la Explanación, just outside of Salento. It worked out really nicely because there was a 5-year-old boy who lived on site who was the grandson of the caretaker of the property. The owners of the property all lived on site, and it was really nice for our kids to get to play with another 5-year-old. If you're watching this, hiya Kobo! Each time we were back at the Eco Lodge, our boys played with a Kobo and they worked together to try to build traps for animals. It was interesting to see how they worked together and communicated despite their language barrier. These big adventures are made so much better by the people we get to meet along the way. Nestled high up in the Andes Mountains, Salento offers tons of cute shops, restaurants, and tons of vegan and vegetarian options.
Hola, mama.
The Eco Lodge was located about 10 minutes from the town of Salento, but our hosts were really awesome about helping us out with transportation or organizing it if they couldn't do it themselves. We climbed a giant staircase from the town center to get up to the top lookouts, and the views were second to none.
Look like a ladder up. There's a ladder up to the top.
Oh my goodness.
Look at Mom.
Here comes Mommy.
Ladder.
Whoa!
Hello from Salento. We're walking around the town, and something interesting I'm seeing is medicinal marijuana and cocoa leaves for sale at every little store, which I'm not sure it's legal here or not, but it's interesting.
The trees on the backside of town. This place is pretty amazing. Cassie's with the kids over here. There's a little playground. 3 little playgrounds on each tier. To the very top of town. That's looking down.
Whoever gets down to of all the stairs first gets a coin.
And I guess now you have a coin to pay me if I win, huh?
Uh-huh.
And of course we had to take a break from exploring to sip a coffee at one of the many local coffee shops.
Sprinkles first, Atlas? Best first?
Yummy.
And eat a delicious tostone. The patacones in Salento were different than the rest of Colombia. They were super thin and crispy, like a giant chip. And of course served with avocado and hogao, which is like the traditional salsa of Colombia. Getting back to the Eco Lodge on that first night, we met a super sweet Australian couple. Miss Tony helped Atlas with his trap ideas on that very first night, and she had no idea how into it they were really gonna get on this trip. On our first full day in Salento, we headed into the town square to catch a ride on a Jeep Willy.
Drink this, Daddy.
You done?
We loaded up in the back of a Jeep Willy and headed down a very bumpy journey that took about 30 minutes to get us to the Kokoda Valley. There are a bunch of Jeep Willys in the town square waiting to take tourists wherever they want to go.
You buy a round trip ticket for 8,000 mil, which is about $2 per person.
Kokora!
And you are squeezed in tight.
Upon arrival, we decided against seeing it on horseback and instead opted for hiking through the Kokoda Valley amongst the tallest palm trees in the world. Did you know that wax palms can grow to be 60 meters tall? That's nearly 200 feet.
Made it to the Kokora Valley.
Further out.
There were tons of cute stops along our hike that were set up for tourists to take photos, and we even took shelter in one of these cute little photo stops when it began to pour down on us.
Say hi to Mama.
Hi.
Do you guys even know where we are?
South America.
Yep.
The land of the gigantic palm trees.
The wax palms here in Kokora Valley are actually the national tree of Colombia.
Oh shit! Holy shit!
Holy schist. This is the schist right here.
When the rain let up, we continued on, and despite the drizzle, the views were insane.
How high did you guys just walk? How far did
So high. I'm even higher than palm.
And we're taller than some of the tallest palm trees in the world right
Look,
now.
I'm higher than those ones all down there.
Look how fast the clouds are moving next to us, guys. Look, there's a cloud right there moving. We could go walk through it.
At one point, we were standing inside of the cloud and could look down on some of the wax palms.
Kokora Valley is actually the location where the Disney movie Encanto is based off of. We actually saw an endangered Andean condor. Dad just made the boys put their rain jackets back on so they could try to roll down this hill. Absolutely ridiculous right now.
Whoa, Io! Nice roll! I don't know. Some type of... How many legs does he have?
Sheep! Aya! There's sheep down here too! It's with the horn! And llamas! 2 llamas! Rainbow! It's only if it's rainbow and this water, it's the magic of water.
The guys were totally exhausted at the end of this adventure. It was difficult to get Atlas out of the Jeep Willy.
It tastes like popcorn.
Giant kernels. It's like popcorn on the cob.
Yeah, it tastes like popcorn.
Of course, we had to end the day's adventure with another stop at a local coffee shop, some natural juices, and more patacones.
Gracias.
Mama's patacones when they're in the shape of a plate or a piece of paper.
They're beautiful.
The next day's adventures involved yet another Jeep Willy ride, but this time we were headed to Finca Buenos Aires,
I have to get one, Mommy.
I gotta get one, I know. Look at you boys.
a highly coveted coffee farm in the area.
These ones are specially made for different tribes in Santander, a department from here from Colombia. The tribes are called Batigua and Pilon. It will take maybe from 10 to 15 days until they become these ones we have over here, for example, that are called match. Why match? Because they look like a match.
The Coffee Triangle consists of 3 departments in Colombia: Caldas, Risaralda, and Quindio.
Coffee.
Finca Buenos Aires gave us a truly authentic experience on their coffee farm by dressing us up in traditional coffee picking uniforms,
Chapola,
Chapola? Chapoletas?
the people that collect it and plant it, it's called chapoleras.
Chapoleras.
Chapoleros.
while teaching us about the whole process from growing to roasting to preparing the perfect cup of coffee.
take 2 weeks.
Set. Put it in.
The amount of coffee produced here every year equates to over 11 million bags.
Look, 2 more.
How's enough passion fruit there?
Look, 2 more.
We loved the challenge of trying to pick 10 ripe coffee beans in the thick of all the plants.
Put them down. Making my way through the beans.
We noticed many other fruits were growing here, and after inquiring, we learned that they grow other types of produce to help maintain sustainability year-round.
It's like a lychees.
Lychees, yes. Yeah.
Our boys got to help with the big machine that starts the coffee process. This is what world schooling looks like in real life, and this is what it means to get a cross-curricular education. We learned about farming, agriculture, economics, sustainability, international trade, all in the span of 2 hours during this one experience.
These are like honey flowers.
After the tour, we were fed some arepas with ogao.
You don't want to take a bite?
Very sweet.
Guayaba.
Arepas are common throughout Colombia, but they are definitely a little bit different from department to department, so be sure to try them in each different location you go to in Colombia. And then we had finally arrived at the point we had been waiting for, tasting the best cup of coffee. Our guide showed us 3 different types of coffee they produce and what the beans looked like during each stage of production.
Sweet.
Smell that.
Which one?
Wow.
He then taught us how to prepare the perfect cup of coffee.
So the first thing that we're going to do is to wash our filter because we want to avoid any paper flavor or any other chemical compound it could have. And also we are going to heat our glass because we want to avoid the thermal shock.
Pour the water over the coffee in a spiral-like motion and voila! The coffee was fantastic.
Arabic bean. Alice's hand. So relaxing.
There is an international coffee ranking system we learned about that is supposed to go all the way up to 100, but nobody scores above a 96 because no coffee is considered to be perfect.
Camino, miel, natural.
83, 86, and 91.
After a long day exploring and tasting the best coffee in Colombia, we headed back to the town of Salento for a quick snack and some people watching.
You know what color hair you have? Yeah? What kind? Yellow. No. I do have yellow hair. You have blonde. Hey, my brother has blonde like you.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What's so incredible here?
Because they make it the best. They make it with candy.
Before returning to the Eco Lodge, where our boys insisted on swimming in the river in hopes of getting some magical powers before we had to leave the Salento area.
Who's got magical powers?
How cold is it?
It is cold. Come here, Brad.
Oh no!
This water is beautiful. Who's got powers?
Crystal court. Power rush. Oh, did you see how that broke? Bucket bucket. It's our chocolate bucket. Brass bucket. Brass monkey. Banga monkey. What don't get? Alice, look at my stick is loaded. Oh, look, Alex. Alex, look at my stick. Ah! Oh, it's Colombia.
Colombia!
Colombia.
I'm picking them.
Las gallinas. Para el no. No.
The original Mike and I.
And they're sweet. They're really good. Our kids have been eating them.
Oh my goodness.
Animal pencil. It's the special obstacle.
Go on.
Our boys enjoyed playing with a kobo on the last night, building an obstacle course, and continuing to brainstorm how they were going to trap certain animals. The dining at Refugio Puente de la Exploración Eco Lodge was incredible. The grandmother, Orfa, prepared made-to-order breakfast for us each day we were there, and she prepared us dinner upon request as well, which we got to enjoy at a long table with guests who were there from all over the world.
What is all this noise, he asked. My feet will not grow. Today we are going to head back towards Pereira and perhaps stop at a hot springs along the way, so stay tuned for that.
Our boys were so sad once again when it was time to leave because they had made a great new friend there. This place truly felt like home there, and we were so grateful to Orfa, Luigi, and Nicholas for not only welcoming us on their property, but really treating us like family.
What are you doing in there?
Trying to make a trap.
Oh, you're still working on the trap?
Yeah, look. There's still one left.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next part in our 9-part Colombia travel series. There are only 2 videos left, and be sure to check out the other videos in the Colombia travel series. Until next time, Unconventionalist, keep exploring life outside the box.